So that'll never change. And that's extremely important. We have to use the product. We got to wear the brand or the button or something that can create conversation with people, so that we can actually talk to people, whether it's through that or through invites or whatever, right? You have to talk to people. So use word talk is always going to be a concept that never goes away from Herbalife. But within that, I think there's certain things that we could tool up with, or we could use as like a reference to really analyze, like, do I have everything that I need to be successful in this business? Or have I taught it to my distributors yet? Right? And you can be kind of use it as a checklist. So what we did is basically broke it into different categories. So the first category is going to be invite. All right, and here we'll have tools. So what you have to tool up with, and then what you have to learn. So in this category, right, you'll see the tools that you need for it, and then what you need to learn to be able to execute on this. Because our business breaks down from invite to presentation to follow-up. Right? And most of us make the mistake of doing this all together, right? The invite to presentation. We do a quick presentation when we talk to someone because we're excited. I did it all the time, right? They saw a shaker cup, they saw the button, they just saw my results, they saw the different attitude, oh, and they saw my post, they asked me about it. Oh, dude, what is it? Oh, it's this Herbalife thing I'm drinking, right? Well, how much does it cost? Oh, like $200, and you drink it 3 times a day, you know what I mean? Like, and so you start to like say, and it's not, and what happens is they think, the other person thinks, oh, I know what it is. I already got the information. And they think they got the presentation. In reality, we did them a disservice because we didn't give them the full presentation, right? I always use the analogy of a big picture frame and you show them the bottom corner. And they think that's the frame. Versus, no, we need to bring them to a presentation, which could be HOM, which could be a one-on-one wellness evaluation, that could be a sampling at the nutrition club, that could be a fit camp, something that shows them a little bit more of what we offer as a community, right? That there's people, that there's challenges, that there's like a hub, there's like a home for people, right? All the nutrition clubs, they got to know more than just, oh, it's these shakes that you take and it costs so much money, you take it. So that's not enough. So making sure we separate invitation to presentation, right? That's probably one of the biggest keys, and probably one of the things that most of us do when we first start. That's the first mistake I think we all do. And sometimes you get away with it, right? Because they're your friends and your family, and they just kind of trust you anyways. But you don't know how many people we lost that maybe would have been, if we would have just piqued their interest and trained our new people right away, that they would just get into a presentation in front of you guys, right? Or in front of your coach or your sponsor. So what you're gonna need to have for invite on the tools is gonna be some brochures. I guess you don't need this, but this is good to have, at least some of these things. Maybe some flyers, some business cards, your social media. What I mean by that is, like, you know, sometimes when you're out there talking to people and inviting, this is kind of old school, the business card, the flyers. Probably not going to get anybody to call you off that, but if you have your social media, and your social media is your business front, right? Oh, hey, I just gave my last card. Do you have Instagram or Facebook? Let me follow you. And then now you're connected with them without asking for a phone number or something that could be a little bit more awkward or aggressive, right? So social media is the gold mine right now. It's very non-threatening. Everybody wants an extra follower, right? And if you build good rapport with them when you talk to them on the, while you're doing the invite, yes, you can give them a business card, you can do all that, but even if you have a business card, still ask for the social media. I think that's a great way to like stay connected and have instant communication with them. And now you get to see their world, but more importantly, they get to see your world. And if you're posting good pictures, right, showing you're a well-rounded person, hey, you're not just coughing up, spitting up Herbalife all day, every single day as a salesperson, right, that's gonna help you convert that person into not just a prospect, but now maybe even a potential client when you get them to to the community, right? So social media is definitely something that we recommend you have in your tool belt when you're out there for the invites. The other thing you're gonna want is, I put here calendar of events, but basically know what's coming up, right? You talk to someone today, invite them, hey, tomorrow, why don't you come by to the club? Or hey, Saturday we have our workout, or there's Inspire that has a big camp. I think Level X has the 12 o'clock, So know what's coming up in the event. Hey, this week we have game night, right? So know the calendar so you know what to invite to. That's also very important, because if it's relatively soon within that week, there's probably a higher probability that they're going to show up or be there versus next month or in 2 weeks. At that point, the emotion's not as fresh, right? Versus someone that hits it off with you, they hear your story, they hear your results, they want to come learn. I think that's important. So calendar of events. So what do you need to learn in this to do invites? You need to learn the button response. Right? And the reason you need to learn the button response is it just gives you structure. So the people that struggle with just having a simple conversation with someone, or asking, or don't know how to answer questions, right? Though the button response gives them structure of what to ask, versus it going every single direction in that conversation. They start talking about the story, and all of a sudden they're doing a presentation and they're doing all these things. The button response gives us structure, right? So they have to know the button response, they have to know their story, and it's very helpful if they know how to handle rebuttals. Majority of the time with the rebuttals is going to be the story. If you know your story really well, people can say whatever they want to say. Oh, but I heard Herbalife kills people. Oh, well, I heard that shit don't really work. Oh, I heard if you get off it, you gain your weight back. If you know how to handle rebuttals, right, that's going to save so much time, especially for our new people, right? And majority of the time, yes, there's certain things you can say. Oh, well, duh, of course, common sense. If you get off it, you go back to your old habits, you're going to gain weight. Yeah, that you can say that stuff, right? But the bulletproof one is, well, I don't know about that. All I know is, when I did it, this is what happened to me. And no one can question what happened with you. And this is what happened with my mom. And this is what happened with my brother. And this is what happened with my best friend. And now you start to share the stories, they can't question that, right? And if you have a powerful one, where like, dude, I helped my mom lose weight, she had to get on her cholesterol pills. Like, that's even more of a, oh shit, like they can't say nothing. Even if they hate it or whatever, they'll just stop talking. They'll just, cool, respect it and move on, right? But some of them, there's not a lot of haters. There's just people that are questionable, like a little suspicious. So those people, you share something like that with them, now it shows like, man, I'm talking to a human being here. I'm not just talking to someone trying to sell me a product. And now they're more open to the invite, right? So learn how to share your stories. Learn how to handle rebuttals. And the biggest thing with rebuttals is not getting angry, like not trying to win it. There is no winning an argument. If you win the argument, you lose. I guarantee you that person's not going to buy from you or ever even be open to listen to you if you just made them look like a fool. So it's never about beating them. It's just about being authentic and sharing your story and sharing what this experience has done for you and your family, things like that, right? So these are the things you need to learn when it comes to the invite part. So use this as a checklist. Do I know the button response? Do I have my story really packaged pretty good, right? Do I know how to handle certain rebuttals, right? Is there certain things I don't know how to handle, right? So go through this checklist yourself and then also with your downline, and then we'll take the time, and we're going to do this over the next few weeks. We're going to kind of break these down and go over exactly how a button response goes, exactly how to share your story, right? So we'll do that. But here's just a checklist overall so you guys can start to kind of give yourself your own grade of like, oh, I don't know this, I need to know this. All right, so next thing, presentation. What do you need for presentations? You need some samples. You could, I guess we put it under place, like somewhere to do the presentation. But this can also happen online if you really wanted it to, or with a phone, a simple presentation. You could do that at your home. You could do that at a nutrition club. You could do it over the phone. At a fit camp in a park somewhere. You could do it at a weight loss challenge, anywhere you meet for a weight loss challenge. You can do it anywhere where you guys are gathering together, right? But you want to make sure you have something to sample them. You also want to have your bank account set up in case they want to buy right then and there. Your website. And some Tanita sheets or body scan sheets. The weigh-in sheets. Right, obviously now, I mean, pretty much everyone works at a nutrition club, to be honest. So that's probably the more likely where you're doing it. But you know, when we first started, we did them at houses more. Most of the time it was at a house. A few times I did it at a Starbucks. This guy used to do it at Denny's. Like, you know, you just meet with someone and you just sample people and you share your story, right? So, but here's just some of the tools that you'll need to have a presentation done. The most important thing is your samples. As far as bank account goes, just making sure that, you know, right away you treat this like a business. So you separate your monies, right, from your personal and your business account. Especially if you guys start to make some decent money. You know, yeah, and boy here, Luis will hook you up. You know, he's got you free, like, there's no fees and stuff like that, right?
Check. And you get $50 bonus. So if you guys get like somebody that's interested in buying the business packet IDP, they use those $50 toward buying that, and then they
just for opening up the checking business account.
That's it.
Oh, dude. So right, if you haven't done it yet, I highly suggest you get and do it soon. Here's why. Because the sooner you do that, the sooner you subconsciously are telling yourself, like, I'm taking this for real, right? When I came back from extravaganza in October, that's when I first clicked. Like when I first went to my first extravaganza, and I was like, dude, I want to do this. I was all pumped up. That next month, I opened up a business account, right? I don't know, at least back then, so I didn't do it with him, but I'm just saying. But I did it, and it was just this surreal, like, oh, I got like a business account. It's different. I'm not just mixing all my money still now. So it's just that little extra step of becoming professional, right? Going pro.
I think it also adds the clarity of knowing how much you make and that you can actually share that with people, you know. And in this case where we buy at a discount, so it's like we got it for $50, but we sell it for 100. Like, you didn't make 100, and if you're following up with a separate account away from your personal, you're able to clearly see, like, okay, I didn't make 100, I made 50, but then you can share that with somebody. I made $50 today. Like,
yeah,
that's powerful.
And you open up a bank account with $50, $100, $500. I don't know what you want to open it up with, and that becomes your zero. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you go below that, what you invested in, that means you're in the negative right now. And sometimes you are going to go below that because you have to buy product, you have to have inventory in hand, you're going to training. But then when the check hits or the sales happens, you deposit the money, and then like Tori said, you can look at the end of the month and be like, oh, I'm up $500 this month, right? Like, so there's different ways to actually track it. So those are just some of the things that you're going to need to, as far as tools go for presentation. What you need to learn, is how to do a wellness evaluation, right? Actually getting them on the scale, going over the numbers, putting a plan together for them. You want to learn the facts of Herbalife. You want to learn different stories or testimonials from other people. Obviously, again, nutrition clubs are perfect for this. You usually have a results wall. You usually have other people in the room that they can share their stories with. You want to learn the products. And you want to learn the marketing plan. All right, so hey, ask yourself, do I know these? Or rate yourself on a 1 through 10. How good am I at the wellness evaluation? How good am I at the marketing plan? How good am I on the products? Right, and you start to kind of figure out, I really need to master this. Hey, I want to ask so-and-so to show me this. Right, and learn from different people, because everyone, it's the same information, people just deliver it in different styles, right? But the information should be the same, the language should be the same. So learn these because you never know which presentation you're going to be giving, or if they all go together. Someone might come here for losing weight, and all of a sudden you mentioned I made $500 last month, and all of a sudden they're like, well, how do I make $500? And you got to be able to speak with confidence on this is how you make $500. This is the marketing plan. All right, then you have follow-up. So for follow-up, you want to have client folder, an agenda, or if you use your phone, make sure you're actually using that. Make sure you guys are organized. And then your own follow-up system, right? Like day 1, 3, 7, right? Herbalife tells you how to do it, actually. It's in the manual book when you come. But have your own structure. Like what I mean by that too is like sometimes people say, hey, we do the Monday TGIM text, and you have like Wednesday and Fridays when I text all my people individually. Like have your own system of like, this is how I do my follow-up. Here's the days that I set up all my follow-up appointments. Have a system, have a structure. There's fortune in the follow-up, right? Pennies in the sales, fortune in the follow-up. But if you don't have a system or a structure, you're probably not doing any follow-up. So all the hard work you're doing to get clients is just going down the drain. So check your system, check your structure, and figure out, okay, I need to clean it up, or I have no idea what kind of system I should have. Start talking to people. Hey, what's your system? Hey, what's your structure? Hey, how do you use it? The easiest one is stick to the Herbalife one. They tell you, here's day 1, here's the questions to ask. Day 3, here's the questions to ask. Day 7, you should be setting up the appointment for follow-up, right? So stick to that, and from there you figure out your own system, and you do what works for you. What you need to learn is you need to learn how to ask questions. And how to get referrals. Questions are important, especially for follow-up, because that's how you can tell if someone's doing it right or not. Right? You want to make sure you're asking questions because they could be BSing you, they could be doing it completely wrong, and if all you're doing is selling them the product, you don't have a follow-up system, and then you expect them to see them in 2 weeks so they can reorder from you, that's probably not going to happen. They might have taken the shake the wrong the first day and they threw up, and now they hate Herbalife, and then they think you scammed them or something. Like that's why follow-up is so important, right? You want to check in with people, and if you do good follow-up, then you'll usually have referrals. Hey, so-and-so is interested too. Or you come up with your own referral system. Hey, for every person you bring to me, I'll give you $5 off your program, or $10 off. You can get creative with that kind of stuff, right? If they bring you 3 to 5 people, hello, maybe you have a distributor on your hand, right? Hey, well, you want to actually make all the profit on this? Let me show you how this works, right? So you want to learn how to ask the questions and different referrals. And the last thing we have is just get trained. So for that, the tool you'll need is a journal. And really the only thing you learn is to plug in, AKA show up. Half the battle is in just showing up, yo. The other half is how you show up. Are you actually present? Are you actually here? Are you just messing around or BSing, right? Like all that matters. And for plugging in, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can plug in. There's obviously Health Coach University, right? Eric just did one at his shop. You could do HOMs, which is like every Thursday here. You have the Zoom calls. I mean, the company itself does a bunch of calls, STSs, and then you obviously have like the corporate events like LEW and extravaganzas and all that. There's so many ways to get trained. Obviously, just through the Herbalife website itself, right? You can look up the different videos that they got, but you have to get trained, you have to plug in, right? So, I think taking a look at this, one as ourselves, as the refresh fund coming into 2020, right? Even if us veterans, like, ask yourself, like, have you mastered all this, right? Or do you still do some of this stuff? Or like, is it, we used to do some of this and now we don't do some of this, right? And then are we asking our downline distributors like if they've mastered this, right? Or checking in with them like, hey, what are these? Don't you learn? Haven't you learned it? What can I help you with? What can I teach you? Right? What tools don't you have yet? Right? You want to tool them up. They want to look professional when they show up to me with their wellness evaluation. So this is just kind of an overview. Now in here, we still have to teach you how to do all this stuff, right? And we're going to do it over the next few weeks, and we'll be doing our best to record it, put them up on YouTube and stuff like that, and that way we have access to it, or we can send those with, you know, new distributors that come along. Is there any questions or anything like this? Anybody want to add something that maybe we should add to certain categories? If